Hello and welcome to the third video of the Page Builder Essentials. In this video, we are going to add the task functionality to our application. We're going to make sure that a project can contain and show tasks and that we add a little segment in which we can manage them. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to dive into the detail page that we have created. Because my main thing is I would love to show some tasks underneath, because that does make sense when you have a project with tasks. So first things I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little column underneath the items for my project. And I'm going to use the divider component to make sure that there's a little bit of a difference between the information of the project and what we are going to place underneath. And when I'm clicking on the divider, I'm going to see, okay, have a look at the thickness. I want this to be a large divider. And let me have a look. Do I want to change the color? Warning, do I want to make it yellow? Maybe any of the colors. Success. Green? No, I'm going for a medium divider. There we go. And then underneath that divider, I am going to add two layout columns. So we're going to pull up and down there. What I would like to do is in one of these columns, I want to show a data table with some tasks. This data table can then in the future lead to the detail page for a task, which you can create yourself. Or it can just simply allow us to check or to do some stuff with that task. Anyway, a data table and a form to create those tasks in. So let's have a look. First, we're going to scroll down and I want to look at the data components. Here we do have the data table and we can drag this into our column. I can select the task model and then think of the most important items of a task that you want to display. Well, to me, those are the title, the is done, and the end date. The information I need is what is the task, is it done, and when does it need to be done? I could look at time spent, but that is information that I don't necessarily need when I'm looking at that data table. Also, I don't need to know which project it is connected to because I am on the project detail page. And I don't necessarily want to know when it has been created, updated, or the ID of the task. And the description, we can leave that for the task detail page. Press save. And here we have a wonderful table that could display all these tasks. We can click on the data table and we can change some information that we see over here too. If you want to reconfigure or add a column to your data table, you can use the options over there. And you can also make sure that when someone clicks on this row, that we can navigate them through to that detail page if you want to create that. And we now know how to create a detail page, so you could do the same for a task basically. What I would like to add is, I want to add a search functionality based on the title of a task, which says search on title. And well, the title of this data table can also be something called tasks. And here you see, let's see, project tasks. There we go. Project tasks, a nice little title. You can change things such as the pagination. How many rows do you want to show per page and when do you want users to click to next? Right now it shows 10. I kind of want to reduce that to 5. On our actual front end, it will only show the amount of tasks you have. It won't show any placeholder data. And I'm going to leave it like this. I do really like it. So another thing that I would like to give to you is you can name components. And later on, we are going to need a little clarity when we want to select components on our page. In this case, we have a data table. But maybe I would like to make it clear that this is the data table for tasks. So you can click on the name of the component in the top left corner, change the name of the component and press check. And now, as you can see, if I can click on another component and then back to the data table, it is called data table tasks. And that is important for later, but it's good for you to know that it is a best practice, especially when you're working with specific kind of topics, with segments of data that you want to show users what kind of data segment it is. So for example, we have a column over here. I'm going to call this status and the description column. Col. There we go. Yes, and here I'm going to do date and user col. So now when we would show the componentry, you can even have a little bit more of a description of what you have in front of me. And well, you could tell me that this doesn't make it look more clear, but to me, I know when I'm hovering over here, saying like, oh, this is the column for status and descriptions. Oh, this is the column for the user and the dates. That makes a lot of sense. It seems easy to me, at least. And that's the simple thing. We're only doing it to make bits and bobs a little easier here and there on our pages. And that's all we can try, you know. Then the second thing that I want on our page is a form that allows us to add tasks. So let's go to that form, and we're going to add a create form for tasks in that second column. I'm going to add the task model, and here we are going to add the title. I'm going to add the description. I want people to be able to add the end date and the project. Because although we are making this task on the project detail page, that still doesn't automatically give that same project to our actions and tell the application like, hey, by the way, this is the project you need to connect that task to. We do still need to manually configure that when creating this form. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So we are selecting the project, press save. Well, a form pops up. We're going to allow users to fill in the task. We're going to allow users to fill in the description and the end date. And for the project, we can say that we already want to fill in the value. So what is the value of this project? Well, it is the project that we have available on this page. So let's say that we are going to grab the project ID. So there we go. We're going to grab the page variable project.id, and we're going to show it in here. What I would like to show as a display though is the project title, because otherwise it's going to show a name and or a number, and that's not necessarily what I want to display. And to make sure that people aren't going to click on this drop down and change the kind of projects that this task could be connected to, we can disable this autocomplete. That means that it will simply show the name of the project of the detail page, and the only thing that people can do is look at it and press send after they've filled in all their information. Seems lovely. Before we're going to test this feature, I want to do one more thing. Two more things, actually. This data table that we have over here is going to currently show all the tasks available throughout your application. We also want to make sure that only the tasks are shown that are connected to this project. And for that, we can create a filter on our data table. So here we can move from task to the connecting project and select the ID. And well, what do we have available on this page? Exactly that same ID. There's a lot of checking out, okay, what is that ID that I have on the page, and then using it to filter items on your page. And that is all that detail pages are about, making sure that you set up your data structure and your filtering correctly. You don't want users to all of a sudden see data from another project because, well, first of all, that's not super safe. And second of all, maybe they'll get confused because if one of my tasks for buying a neat painting is setting up my database, that would make me confused. That would confuse me. And I'm a simple guy. That would confuse me. So let's press play and see what it looks like when we add a task. Let's go to buy a cool painting. We're going to add task 1. For buy a cool painting, that is, pick a cool painting. You would like a painting that matches your interior. There we go. The end date is going to be soonish, and for the project it says buy a cool painting. I cannot change it because I need to add it to this page. I'm going to press send, and now if I refresh my page, it is added to my project tasks. And that's pretty neat. There's only one thing though. I don't want to have to refresh my page every time that I want to see this data table being updated. And we can change that actually. We can open up our project details, and then we can navigate to the create form of our task. And here we can do something called an interaction. When I do something with this component, I want something to happen somewhere else. I want an interaction to happen. So we can grab this create form, select the interaction, tab. So next to option, you have styles and interactions. And on a form, you can already see that some interactions are there. On action load, so when the action's loading, hide the alerts. We don't want the alerts to show just yet. On action error, show the error alert. On action success, show the success alert. Seems all right. And now we are going to do something similar. An interaction basically works as followed. You first determine what the trigger is for this interaction. When I click a button, when I click some text, something happens. When I change something, something else happens. In our case, we want to use the more option. And the event that I want to use as a trigger is on action success. When I successfully create a new task, I want something to happen. And what do I want to happen? I want to refetch. I want to gather some information anew. And look at this. We made sure that we gave that data table a proper name, but now we know what to target. I would like to refetch our tasks data table so that we can immediately see that task we have added. So press save. And now I'm going to press compile again. And now I'm going to add another task, and it should look spliffy and fast. So let's make sure again. Oh, by the way, this is a good thing to know. When you haven't added an ID to your URL, you might see an error appear. And it might be like, ooh, what's going on? This is actually pretty good because it doesn't have any value. It's an empty value. There is no ID for our page, so it doesn't show any data and it doesn't know where to search. This is just a handy thing for us to know, oh, hey, we need to make sure that we have some page URLs available. I'm actually going to go to the cool painting page because I've already had something over there. Pick a cool painting, buy a cool paint. Oh no, wait, save up for the cool painting. Description, because we need the money to buy the cool painting. End date later on this month. Press send, and it went very fast. But the project tasks immediately added the title of the task. That went pretty fast. So let's add another one. Buy the cool painting. After we have the money, we need to go to the store. Gonna leave the end date on the same date, press send, and it immediately adds the new task. So that is pretty neat. We now have a very, very nice project tasks functionality. the only thing that I would like to do is have an overview of all tasks of my application. And we're going to do this quick because we need to be rounding up to. I'm going to add a new page. And I am going to add a page that almost has it all. The back office page. I'm going to use the back office template. And I'm going to call this tasks back office. Tasks back office. And I'm going to make sure that this is all together. So tasks, or no, the URL is going to be task back office. I like that. I prefer that. Sounds better. Task/back office. And I'm going to press create page. It's going to use whatever our application suggests us to use. And I'm going to use the task model. The search field is going to be set to the title. And what do I want to display in my back office? Well, I want to display the title. I want to display, if it's done, the end date and which project it is connected to. And from project, I am going to display the title. There we go. So I've selected some random data that I want to show in our back office, and I'm going to press save. And this is a big page. Back office pages have a lot of information because they display all the information of, well, a single model allows you to update it, delete it, manage it. Back offices have it all. You could use back offices from the start, but I do like us diving into how to create all these separate features. So let's press that compile button. And once we are in our back office page, we can see all these tasks and we can look at the detail views. This is the information from our task. We can edit the task and we can delete the task. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. I'm going to update the first one and say, you know what, the is done. It is done. I'm going to press save and you can see that the page immediately updates. Last thing to do is make sure that this little menu on the left-hand side changes. So I'm going to go back to my page builder, press that menu, and we can do that by pressing the edit partial button because the left-hand menu is a simple partial. Ooh, let's see. First, I'm going to change the logo because that is not the logo that I used initially. There we go. And I'm going to add a menu item, which is going to be the task back office, and that will navigate to the exact task back office page with some information over here, something like that. And now arrow back to the page, press play again. It is done. This is exactly what I wanted. In the next video, we are going to connect all the buttons together again. This is a very big feature that we've added because we've basically added all the things regarding managing, showing, viewing tasks in one video. But it is a very nice feature that is added to our application. In the next video, we are going to make sure that we're going to add that update functionality to our projects. And we're going to look into a little bit more of the flow of our application. And then we are almost already done with the basics of our project management application. So see you there.